You know, the thing I think with depression that's so interesting is a lot of times we don't even recognize it in ourselves as starting. I mean, once you've lived with it for a while, like I now know kind of when it's starting again, and I can recognize behavior, but oftentimes it takes somebody else recognizing it and saying, hey, you know, do you realize what you're doing? But I think the things I've learned in at least my own life is when I start, you know, losing that drive and not having the interest in things, and for me, the immediate is the dark thoughts. It's the negativity. It's the, you know, that feeding frenzy that starts in my brain, and I have to start talking to somebody. You know, I still see a therapist. I've seen him for 25 years, and that's what I need to get in. For me, my depression needs to be spoken about. I have to let someone else in as to why, and then start looking at what in my life is maybe contributing to me feeling overwhelmed, and then start doing things to take care of myself. You know, I think a lot of times when I feel overwhelmed and depressed, it's because I'm not doing the stuff that helps my brain have a break. Maybe I have too much that I'm trying to do in my life, or I'm just not spending time with me, or being quiet, or going for a drive, or, you know, listening to music that I like. You know, I just find that it's when I'm lacking my own self-care, it tends to really come on, and I just have to be aware and know that, hey, it's okay, this too shall pass, because it always does. I always think of it like my brain has a cold, and it just means I need some time to either, one, sometimes I get back on medication, not always, but I always have to do something with those thoughts. I have to learn a tool and a skill so that those thoughts don't become my reality. Because just because I think it doesn't mean I have to do anything with it. You know, it's a thought and it's a feeling. It changes and it passes. But it usually helps me to communicate it and tell somebody else.